All right, indoor waste disposal. We're in our home, we're in our retreat, wherever we are, there's a disaster. We do not have septic, we don't have a sewer system. Things we can do to make our life easier. Your existing toilet, you can use it. Even if we don't have water running, you simply pour water into the bowl, about a gallon, and it will flush it. Pour it quick, don't dribble it in. If you dribble it in, it's not going to work the mechanism and let it flush. So quickly pour your gallon of water in, and the toilet will flush. We've all done it, but this is an option. You don't have to have potable water to do this, so this is where I recommend a rain barrel. If you have a rain barrel attached to your house, at least you're going to have 55 gallons of water, hopefully, to get rid of your waste. We take it for granted, getting rid of waste in this country. Next is, you got all kinds of products out there. You got buckets with seats. This is a very cheap way. I recommend you doing something like this. I mean, right now everybody's saying, I don't need to do that, but if you went home today and there was a major problem, you'd be glad you can pull this out of the garage and take care of your family. Next is a chemical toilet, very similar to a 5-gallon bucket. It's a little bit more costly. What you do is you put water and chemical solution in the top part, and you have a little pump on it, and after you go, you can pump it, the water comes out the top, sort of cleans your bowl, and then fills the reservoir on the bottom. When the reservoir on the bottom gets full, you can simply dispose of it however you're going to dispose of it. It's a little better than just a 5-gallon bucket, and it will definitely help you out. Next is a composting toilet. I'm a big fan of composting toilets. They have two varieties out there. They got a variety that takes electricity to run it, and it runs a little heater, and it will sort of incinerate your waste. There's another variety that it works more on natural, and it will decompose your waste, and when you're done at the bottom, you'll have a little tray, you take that outside and dispose of it. Composting toilets are improving yearly. They're becoming very efficient. You might not be able to put a septic tank. You might be in a suburban area and you can't put your septic system in because of regulation. This is the answer. Usually it has a 2-inch pipe that will go through the roof as a vent to vent this thing. They can be pricey. You're looking anywhere from $600 on up, but it's a good option to dispose of waste in an emergency. Your wife will appreciate it. Next. To help with smell and breaking down waste, there's a lot of products out there. You could be using these products inside in your bucket. You could be using them in a slit trench. You could be using them anywhere. First one is sawdust. Common sawdust will help break down in an outhouse. That's what we used to do. Next is wood ash. Very good product to help break it down and control the smell. And probably the best product is the powdered lime. That's something that we have to purchase. The top two you might be able to get for free, and it will go a long ways in helping you. This is a porta potty. Highly recommend these. I don't recommend you going and stealing one, but you might want to reposition one if something happens. Now you're probably saying, well, that's great. I can go to the bathroom for a month or a week with my family, but eventually that little tank on the bottom is going to get full. What you want to do is take that, tip it on its side, take a Sawzall, cut the bottom of that tank out. Now what we have is an instant outhouse. Better than a wooden outhouse because I can take a sprayer and some bleach and I can spray that disinfectant. It disinfects a lot easier than a wooden outhouse, by far. Easier to keep clean. So it might be something happens and in your subdivision they're building a couple new houses and there's a couple of these around. Reposition them where people can use them. Tip them on its side, cut a hole in the bottom, dig your hole, push it over. What you want to do is dig a hole typically 3 to 5 feet deep. What you're going to do is take your extra dirt and pile around the outside so rodents and insects can't get in underneath where the skids are. There's a lot of products out there for camping to offer some privacy if you go camping and you want to use a chemical toilet, or if you want to use a 5-gallon bucket with a lid, whatever you got. There's a lot of products. This is a good product, especially if you're in a group of people where there's mixed males and females. This gives you some dignity when you go to the bathroom. In the military, you never have dignity going to the bathroom, so recommend this. Ladies will really appreciate it. Next is the old-fashioned outhouse. Some of you probably have one sitting there decaying. I highly recommend an outhouse. There's some, regulations involving the sewer company and, disposing of waste. But what I recommend you doing, I know some of you guys are handy and you probably could knock out an outhouse in a day. And then some of us, after 2 thumbs getting broken, you might be able to at least get something up. So build an outhouse now. What I'm trying to challenge you is, hey, it's time to do something now when we have Lowe's and Ace and Home Depot. It's easy to do. Build an outhouse. You don't have to dig the hole right now if you don't want to. Build an outhouse. You can use it for all kinds of storage. Put garden tools in there, whatever you want. You might be able to put the bags of lime you just bought in there and other things. But you need to do it now, why it's very easy to do. Another outhouse, very easy to do. Any type to give us some privacy and give you some dignity when you go to the bathroom. This is not my personal outhouse, but this is the outhouse I would build. It has a composting toilet, so you're getting away from a lot of regulations, a lot of hassle from putting a hole in the ground. Highly recommend it. You got some privacy. The smell is outside the house. Typically, one of these composting toilets will service a family of 4 to 6 easily without any problems. What I'm urging you to do right now is you need to plan on having some types of sanitation. I've been in third world countries where the sanitation was they threw it out of their house into the street. It's not a good place. And we're saying, oh, I would never throw my waste out in the street. Yes, you would. First of all, you're dead tired. You're not eating properly. You live in a suburban area. And you don't want to dig a hole. You might get physically able to not dig a hole. Something might happen with the situation where the guy or the gal that would be the one to provide the hole being dug is injured, is hurt, is not there. Men, we could be gone away on business, and this could happen for the wife, and she might have to face a few weeks without us there. Wouldn't you feel better knowing, hey, there's an outhouse in the back, everything's set for her, instead of saying, what is she doing with her waste? It's not going to be an easy thing. So I urge you, do it now. It's so much easier to get something done and you check that box. And when you check that box, you're like, I feel better. It will give you you'll be more secure knowing that this is done.